I know I'm probably a bit late on this subject, but we have a lot of new information, some of which I haven't seen other YouTubers talk about yet. Anyway, you're in for a wild ride, so let's get started. A little over 48 hours ago, the developer of a custom client known as RuneLite received a notice from Jagex that he needed to shut down the client by the end of the week. For those of you who don't know what RuneLite is, it's, as I mentioned previously, a custom client for old school RuneScape. It's both completely free and open source. In this letter by Adam, the developer, he's saying that Jagex wants RuneLite to be shut down for copyright infringement. Adam responded saying that he'd be willing to close the source for the project, but ModMattK insisted the entire thing had to be shut down, yet he gave no specifics of how it infringed on Jagex's copyright. Even more shocking is Adam is then told they were working on shutting down both OSBuddy and Konduit, which for those of you that somehow don't know are other old school clients, and that he was the first to be contacted. Adam then goes on to say that he refuses to shut down RuneLite as long as other clients like OSBuddy are allowed to operate. About a day later, this was posted to the RuneScape website. The official reason Jagex decided to go after RuneLite is stated as the sharing of tools used to de-obfuscate old school RuneScape code and then republishing said code. The reason why this is such a big issue is detailed upon in the next paragraph. Whilst this may seem heavy-handed, if ignored, it's entirely plausible that this code could make its way into the hand of developers seeking to adapt it to create botting scripts, or developers who would implement game-breaking features. We cannot allow for botting to become an even easier pursuit with our code in open source, without our permission. What obfuscation is basically a method of making code harder to read. By de-obfuscating it, people with negative intentions, such as making a bot client, could have a lot easier time because they have immediate access to de-obfuscated client code made by Jagex. They go on to say that RuneLite is basically just a starting point. The conversation with RuneLite is part of a long-term strategy and approach for all third-party clients and the future of our own official client. A few hours later, Jagex updated the post saying, "We've been in touch with the developer of RuneLite, Adam. Whilst discussions and our investigations continue, we are temporarily holding off legal action. Adam has agreed to make the RuneLite client and obfuscation tool closed source and pause development during this time. We will continue to review the Jagex approach to third-party clients, taking on board community feedback. This may take some time and we will let you, the community, know updates as we can share them." And this is all we have so far from Jagex. The code deobfuscator has been removed from the RuneLite Git repository, but according to another Redditor, as it stands, they at least crippled RuneLite's future development for the time being. In its current state, the code isn't even capable of building. A statement like this kind of makes me question the future of RuneLite. This kind of reminds me of the whole OSHD debacle. OSHD was clearly using copyrighted Jagex content, and after Jagex threatened legal action and asked to see the code, OSHD disappeared overnight. In this case though, it seems Adam is willing and able to fight for the future of RuneLite, rather than just drop the project. This whole debacle has also pushed the theory of OSBuddy being in Jagex's pocket. Pictures and posts like this have shown up on the subreddit with thousands upon thousands of upvotes. This also makes me really question if all third-party clients are really going to be shut down or not. Some people believe OSBuddy might have even had prior knowledge of the RuneLite shutdown, and as a result began working on their own way for people to create plugins for their client. Now obviously we don't have all the facts and I don't want to assume anything, but it definitely seems a little bit shady. Is this the end of third-party clients? If what Adam said in his first post about the RuneLite shutdown does end up happening, then it just might be. At the same time, the developers of OSBuddy say OSB is going to be just fine, but can't really explain why. Looks like we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Ironically enough, in my top 5 riots video I made just a month or two ago, I included a riot about the end of SwiftSwitch, an old RS2 custom client. It looks like with the ending of RuneLite, we already have riots that top that one. If all clients are banned, then we might have old school RuneScape's biggest riot on our hands. Anyway, I'll be sure to keep you all updated on this and make additional videos if necessary. As always, thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. If you haven't already, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.